Okay, so now I think it's time for the impossible. I've been waiting so long for this, but now I think it's finally time. Rick Baker, you are so up next. Big T's Grilled Cheese. Good name for it. Oh, a baby oryx. How adorable. And a nilgal too. Can't forget about you, can I, kid?
Ain't that a shame? Here I am, bored out of my mind, and I don't know what to review next. I'm already grown sick of doing books, TV episodes, movies, events, and I'm already grown tired of doing stuff like that. And while I'm getting prepared for another review in the future, in the meantime, what should I do in the meantime? I don't know what else to talk about. I wish there was, but there isn't. Maybe I should talk about people again. Yeah, like Darcy Lynn. Hey, wait. There is one person I was hoping to talk about. I forgot to talk about this guy. It's on my schedule, but I haven't got the time for it. Well, I mentioned him in the opening. I'm going to talk about a man named Rick Baker.
Who is Rick Baker? Rick Baker is a 7-time, yes, you heard me, 7-time Oscar-winning makeup artist. And he's the only one to this very day to hold that record. That's right. He was there when the first makeup award was given back in 1981. And with 7 Oscars he won in the last 2 decades, well, maybe 3 if you count the other one, Rick Baker is no doubt a master of makeup. He can make the impossible possible. He can turn famous celebrities into unknowns. He can turn a skinny man into a fat man. He can turn one man into a hairy guy. He's even an expert at mechanics. He's also proved to be a mechanical expert, using mechanical expertise in his makeup effects, just like Stan Winston. How professional can this guy get? That's what we're here about. So join me now as we salute and talk about the 7 Oscars that Rick Baker had won. This is going to be a great salute to him. We're going to talk about his first win, all the way up to his last win. The movies he'd done mostly. Yep, all 7 films. I'm not going to go into full detail with them, just going to explain the makeups that he did for them. This will be my salute to Rick Baker. And I think it's time that we should all begin. American, ahoo, werewolf in London, ahoo. You know, that commentary does bring up a good point. Griffin Dunne and David Naughton, the main stars of the film, pointed out how come John Landis, the film's writer and director, never used the song Werewolves in London. I mean, there's werewolf in London in the name. No matter. Anyway, American Werewolf. This is the first movie to win the first Oscar for Best Makeup, and Rick Baker took home that win. And honestly, he deserved it. Look at the transformations on the werewolf's hand. The strange zombie creatures that attack someone's house. Unusual paranoia effect. Decapitating corpses left and right from the same guy. And oh yeah, let's talk about the werewolf transformation. This is just amazing. The hand that stretches, the schnoz that grows, the hair that grows all around his body. This is a perfect werewolf transformation. I do feel ashamed that it would be upstaged later by Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, but you know what? It's still #1 in my book. This is still the best. And coming from John Landis, who I'm so glad I got an autograph from years ago, he did a good job with this film. It's horror, but it could be comedy too. It is just a cult favorite. And coming from a guy who did Animal House and the Blues Brothers, that is something different in this field. A project that he was hoping to work on for a long time. And you know what? It succeeded. You know, thinking about it now, American Werewolf in London should have something more inspiration. Yeah, think about it. There should be other horror films with a similar title. Like, for example, a Chinese vampire in Los Angeles. Maybe a Canadian Sasquatch in Toyota. Oh, here's one of my best ideas. A Mexican Chupacabra in the Swiss Alps. By the power of the Writers Guild of America, I must have this particular story made. Interesting fact. The same film crew that worked on this movie, including Rick Baker, they went off to do Michael Jackson's music video, Thriller. Yeah, who would have thought? I guess the film was so successful they decided to do a music video that became so iconic than the old movie. So whether you like this film or not, or whether you like the visual effects, American Werewolf in London is definitely the best horror comedy you should see. And a great highlight for Rick Baker's career. And his Oscar-winning success has begun. Whew, gives you chills, doesn't it? The atmosphere around here is kind of chilling too. So that brings an end to film #1. Now we come to film #2. Harry and the Hendersons. This one talks about the mythological lore, the legend of the famous Bigfoot. What seemed to be a harmless family film about the legendary Sasquatch, or Bigfoot. It comes to mind to a lot of people in the 80s. And this family film is one exception. So for an innocent family like the Hendersons, they came across the legendary Bigfoot, which they named Harry. Yeah, because every other creature with a hairy body has to be named Harry, right? Wait, hairy creature? Did I just make a pun? Yes, I did. Either way, Rick Baker won his Oscar for making a costume that shows a humongous Sasquatch. And it's very rare to find Sasquatches in the world today too. Whether you're in the woodland forests of Canada or in the beautiful forests of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or even the petrified forest in California. Chances are Harry will be found there. My cell phone's buzzing out in the kitchen. In order to do this, I'm going to have to get some additional help. Oh, someone's got gas today. I think I know someone who can help me out talk about this movie. Why I answered this call that's been bugging me non-stop. And it's right in front of me. Stein? I.N. Stein? Stein? Mr. Stein? Yes? Would you mind taking over the next one for me? Edward? Oh, yes, the Rick Baker thing, right? Yes, of course. I'll be right there. Now, please. All right. Oh, wait. Okay, well, I think it's my time to tell you. Ed Wood was a famous Hollywood filmmaker. Not some very good films he made, though. In his whole life, the one film he's best known for is Plan 9 from Outer Space. A film that, well, gained a cult following, as they called it. Not that kind of cult, though. And, let's see. Oh yes, it's no surprise that when these two writers of Child's Play decided to write this movie, Tim Burton immediately jumped on board. But that's not the weird point, though. Oh, no. That's not the weird point. The weird part about this is that they actually made a movie about this. And received 2 Oscars. The only Oscars they were nominated for. One for Best Supporting Actor, which is for this guy, and the other, you guessed it, for Best Makeup, Rick Baker. Way to go, Richard. Jolly good. So, this movie shows a time when Ed Wood was becoming a film director. And while Tim Burton was so busy directing Johnny Depp in yet another collaboration together, he made sure to get every single detail right. Including telling this whole film in black and white, which is a great homage in my book. Jolly good. And there's so many stars that I have heard about. Some that even paid homage to other great stars. Like Jeffrey Jones. Boy, does he look weird. And this guy who played Bela Lugosi. As a matter of fact, I heard this guy won an Oscar for his performance. And with Rick Baker's makeup making him look like an elderly Lugosi, you got to admit, I gotta admit too, that is a stroke of genius, making a middle-aged man into a very old man who's close to being dead. Oh yeah, this is the guy, Martin Landau. I was wondering what his name was. And then we also have this guy, Vincent D'Onofrio. Patricia Arquette, Lisa Marie, Sarah Jessica Parker, and by Jove, Bill Murray. Oh, he's been going through a lot of trouble lately. I'm gonna stay out of him for a while. Out of his sight, that is. I did some research with my magnifying glass in my hand here, and it turns out, believe it or not, Ed Wood was not only a cross-dressing transvestite, he also was a adult film director, you might say. There's a lot of films in the 60s and even to the 70s. Ain't that something? Poof. I'm a dunder Ed for doing that. Here, let me hit myself again. Poof. 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 Okay, I'm good. By Jove, I forgot about this information. The director in real life is not only doing stuff independently, he also likes to use stock footage to make his movies. That's why Tim Burton assigned to make this film, because he idolized his work, and this film is no doubt one of Burton's best he's ever done. At the same time, if I may add, this film also reveals something about Ed Wood we never knew about. His transvestism. Wait. Yep, the director was a transvestite in this movie. But though I had to wonder, is he like that in real life? Let me check for a minute. Ben's still on the phone. Yeah, I'll do a quick check. Huh? Aw, look at him. He's getting worn out. Maybe I should take over for a while. I'm done with Mike Oller anyway. Just a scandal. Mr. Stein? You seem to be getting exhausted and pretty much tuck it out. Why don't you sit this one out and I'll take over the Nutty Professor from there, because that's the next one. Yes, quite. The Nutty Professor is Rick Baker's 4th Oscar win. Well, The Nutty Professor. The one film that made Eddie Murphy became famous. Even more. Because he played not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 7 different characters, including one where he does not need to have makeup. That one is Buddy Love. Apart from Buddy Love, Eddie also played Sherman Klump, his brother Ernie Klump, his father, his mother, his grandmother, and... wait a minute. There's only 6. There's supposed to be 7 characters he played. Oh, Lance Perkins. That Richard Simmons guy that we see in the beginning. Okay, I got nothing about that. I'm just impressed. It's the SNL sketch all over again. Smart move. Alright, that's amazing. Way to go, Mr. Baker. You've done an excellent work. That was Oscar number 4. Now let's get to number 5.
Dun 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 dun.
I love the opening theme song to this movie. Men in Black is no doubt the best film that ever came out, way before Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings. You know what's unusual about this film? There are 3 deaths in the beginning. 2 aliens, 1 human. 3 deaths in the beginning of the film. How unusual do you see a film start with that? Based on the Marvel comic, Men in Black tells us about these 2 guys who are pretty much trying to defend Earth from aliens. And this secret organization, which is MIB, Men in Black, we see how it works. There are so many different variety of aliens that go around. Some of them small, some of them tall, some of them computer animated, some of them animatronic, and some of them that look so adorable like this baby alien squid.
Aw, how cute!
I don't know why that's so adorable, but my sister loves it. But the main costume has to be from this guy, played by Vincent. Vincent screw it. I'm gonna call him Video. Anyway, Video. He has a double makeup duty. Rick Baker's task for him is to make a suit, like a human suit that an alien would wear. And boy, Rick Baker sure knows how to stand and deliver. This guy is hideous to the core. It was so unusual, and yet it paid off wonderfully. Rick Baker deserved this Oscar win for sure. His 5th one. So even though half the film is pretty much CG, half of the film is pretty much done in makeup. Now there's also a good lesson to be learned about this movie. Although this film is a lot of fun and great suspense for aliens abundant, if there's anything I learned about this movie, don't ever, never piss off Will Smith. Aliens, they're everywhere, man. Not the joke what you're hoping for, right? I'm gonna spare him from the Oscars. Before we talk about the final 2 Oscars, I want to show you the special postcard Rick Baker himself gave me. On it is The Bride of Frankenstein. Down below is Rick Baker's signature. Inside, however, here we go. This is what he wrote. Hi, Ben. Thank you so much for your nice letter. Glad you like my work. Beast wishes, Rick Baker. I'm so happy not only to get this autograph from Rick, but he sent it to me in like a horror-themed card. I don't remember exactly when he sent it to me, but I'm so happy I received this anyway. With that said, let's head back to the review in the shadows of the night. Because the next film was in 2000. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now we can get to Oscar win number 6. The Grinch. Don't get me wrong, as much as I am faithful to the original cartoon that Chuck Jones had made, I actually have a bit of a soft spot for this one too. As for the one by Illumination, burn in hell. Jim Carrey does his best, and he really showed a lot. He can show his funny side and sometimes be serious when he needs to. Sure, he darkens some moments a bit, but come on, it's Jim Carrey. How can you not laugh at everything he does? The girl who plays Cindy Lou is so bland, and her singing, terrible. Terrible! Let's see, what else is there? Oh, yes. The Who's. Here's a question. Why do the Who's have to have mice-like faces? It makes them look so weird, like human hybrids from a laboratory. It looks so weird. I just don't understand why they have mice-like faces. Are those supposed to be Who's? Not regular ordinary human beings or anything with big noses? I just don't get it. But I'm not here to criticize them. The point is, Rick Baker made Jim Carrey so unrecognizable. Look at that. Come on. He deserves the Oscar for this. Give it to him. Just give it to him. I know there's a lot of fans out there who have a soft spot for this movie, and I myself included. And let's not forget about this one scene that was deleted. Well, it wasn't deleted exactly, but we saw it in the television version. And it was the only time Mini-Me himself, Vern Troyer, actually have a line in the movie. Oh, I can't believe you didn't put it in the actual movie. While we are on the topic of deleted scenes, I gotta point this out. The mayor, who Jeffrey Tambor plays, is an absolute dick. Yeah, I hate this guy. He'll do anything to please Martha, no matter how much he tries to get in her pants. You know what I mean by that? Check out this deleted scene. Apparently, Cindy Lou Who's mother won, because she has the best lighting. It says on the envelope. But to the mayor, he said Martha won.
Martha May Huvier.
You son of a bitch! That's an absolute dick of the year! And Mayor, while you're at it, why don't you take this as your ultimate trophy? You don't deserve to have a woman like Martha! Now I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to the review. Whether you love this movie or hate it, I gotta give it up to The Grinch. Ron Howard sure did his best. That's a fact. The movie did well. That's a wonderful habit, especially from the screenplay writers of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Nostalgia critic, you miss out that detail. I think it's best to leave it at that. Great job with the makeup work, Rick Baker.
The Grinch grabbed my gift.
Now, on to the last one. Personally, I say it's about time that The Grinch won an Oscar for something, anything. A film like that doesn't deserve to be going. It doesn't deserve to go unrewarded. Now, the last film that Rick Baker won his Oscar for was in 2010 with the remake of The Wolfman. A decade later, his last Oscar was given. Despite the remake having countless multiple production problems and not doing a huge success by critics when it first came out, and Sir Anthony Hopkins' bland performance, there is always a time for such makeup achievement. Rick Baker did not hold back one fucking bit. He knows what he's doing, and he's gonna go with it. That is a true artist. And by the way, that's Rick Baker as a gypsy man he killed. A man who's never worrying, never hurrying. It's one of those remakes that somehow didn't seem to make it that well, but yet the makeup takes home the Oscar for Best Original Makeup. But let me shift your attention from it to a YouTuber named Deadmeat, who's in charge of the kill counts, because he explains the whole film in one of his reviews. And I would know he's a fellow Michigander like me.
Makeup effects were done by Rick Baker, one of the most prestigious artists in his field. It was Jack Pierce's work on The Wolfman and other Universal monster films that first made Baker want to be an effects artist. In 1981, Baker created the most famous werewolf transformation sequence in An American Werewolf in London. Thanks to Del Toro, Johnston, and Baker, The Wolfman 2010 is a gothic, gory roller coaster with a well-done Victorian atmosphere.
Here's about some strange facts and some unusual transformations to be seen. All CG based.
Not much makeup to be shown here and there, but it looks kind of creepy when it's CG'd. And while Dr. Strangelove over there has explained that there's no such thing as a werewolf, this guy, as you can see, is becoming a full-out beast behind him. Sure, we get some disturbing CG imagery from like that one. Some disturbing CG imagery. But there's always some time to show a hint of makeup or two. Like that. Oh, now that's a werewolf. Run, you poor politicians! Run! Hey, what the fuck am I saying that for? That's a good thing. Go get a werewolf. Get him! Kill him! Kill him!
It's a modern production of the 1941 classic, updated with tons more action and blood, elaborate effects, both practical and digital, and a whole heaping pile of jump scares.
Look at this makeup. You cannot get any cooler looking werewolf transformations than that. Now this is the Wolfman. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would Rick Baker do another werewolf movie, since he did one back in 1981? Simple. Creativity, money, and power. Here's Rick Baker as an early test as a werewolf. Boy, he sure likes to look himself in a different mirror, doesn't he? But now, as for the main actor, they put some stuff over his body, which is algemate, the same stuff you put on molds for teeth. Every sculpture part was molded into a prosthetic, which then needs to be painted and stuck with hair. Speaking of which, all that hair has to be punctured into the spandex suit and mold pieces. Hair after hair at a time, and individually knotting them strand by strand. Yep, that's makeup for you.
Alongside makeup supervisor Dave Elsey, Baker won the Best Makeup Oscar for his work on this film. Fitting, since he won the first ever Best Makeup Oscar for his work on An American Werewolf in London.
Stop stealing my monologue! I'm doing the show here, not you!
Congratulations, man. I knew you could do it. If you put your minds to it.
Look, just answer me this one question.
Will he ever continue? Unfortunately, those answers will never be answered. Because on May 28, 2015, Rick Baker announced his retirement. Along with this statement, he said, "First of all, the CG stuff definitely took away the animatronic part of what I do. It's also starting to take away the makeup part. The time is right. I am 64 years old, and the business is crazy right now. I like to do things right, and they want it cheap and fast. That is not what I want to do, so I just decided it is basically time to get out. I would consider designing and consulting on something, but I don't think I will have a huge working studio anymore." And that is just what he did. He left the business and retired permanently. After which, in 2018, he was approached by his daughter Veronica, who was working for DC Comics, to see if he was interested in creating a collectible display bust for them. And Baker agreed with the following terms that he would be left alone with his creative freedom, and DC accepted them. So he, along with his lifetime mold maker, Rob Freitas, created a bust of the Joker. Oh, does that look interestingly creepy? And that's my review on Rick Baker, the 7 Oscars he won, and the career he had. I must say, this man sure left an impact on my heart, and an impact on a lot of fans. Rick, great job.
Although I do need to ask, if he was still in the business, he could have made some makeups more better than this. I know cosplayers do put a lot of hard work and effort to get them just the way they need it. But come on, a makeup artist like Rick, he can do a lot more better. He can even do some makeup based on the past, and we might never see again. You would think that Rick Baker would turn an normal average person into someone more Confederate or far right or something more... Why am I talking like this? What am I doing? What am I doing? He could have made flesh-eating zombies like Tom Savini. He could have made some stereotypical or even mythological masks like William Tuttle. Why, he could even make some unrecognizable characters like Jack Dawn. Whatever the case may be, Rick Baker can do almost anything. He did, he loved, and he enjoyed it the most. Thank you, Rick Baker. You gave us such a reason to love your work. You are a true makeup artist, and no one can take that away from you. I'm Big Bad Ben. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I know someday in the near future, if any, I might cover toys, DVDs, let's see, old magazines I once read, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more books to come around. But for now, I'm just going to take a break from those.